This is me solo traveling the world. But some people say that they would never solo travel. There's so much that could go wrong. It's so dangerous. Why would I ever do it? Well, apparently 450 people die a year just getting out of bed. So if you've made it this far, what's the worst that could happen? Well, the first thing you need to know about solo traveling is where you're going. And apparently, moving your hands is great to keep people's attention. Also, there is a shortage in staffing for flight controllers. Nice. So let me help you pick a location to go if you're just a first-time solo traveler, and I'll explain why in a little bit. But first, let me show you the options that you have. The number one place to go solo traveling, in my personal opinion, is Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia has Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, Indonesia. So many different places that you can go that are easy to travel and that have an established route. But Southeast Asia isn't always an option for everybody because it is expensive to get there. So before you get your panties all up in a tiffy, let me give you another option. For the North Americans, I have Central America. Central America is a fantastic place for first-time backpackers to go, especially backpackers from the United States or Canada. Flights are incredibly cheap, and it is extremely easy to travel from country to country. You have Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Guatemala, Honduras, Panama. The options are literally limitless. Unless you want more than 6 or 7 countries, then it is limited because I think there's only 8 countries. I should have done more research. 9? Anyway, if those 2 regions do not fit the bill for you, I have one more option, and that is Southern Europe and Northern Africa. Those 2 are kind of a conjoined unit, and they're especially good for Europeans looking to travel. In Southern Europe, you have Portugal, you have Spain, you have Italy, Greece, and in the northern part of Africa, you have Morocco. It's a nice little cluster that packs in all of this fun and activity and backpacking solo travel fun. Now, before you get too excited and immediately book your flight right now, let me tell you why we chose these options. Why would I recommend those 3 regions for you to travel if you've never solo traveled before in your life? And the main reason why is because each of these locations that I mentioned, each of these regions have an established backpacking route, which means all along your route, wherever you decide to go, there will be hostels, there will be other solo travelers, there will be other backpackers, there'll be activities, there'll be experiences, there'll be fun things to do that are set up in a way that is very easy to find. For example, in Southeast Asia, you have one of the most classic routes, starting in Thailand, going through Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, and any other country that you want to include in that loop. This is a classic loop that many solo travelers and backpackers have done before. So you won't feel lost, you won't feel stranded, you won't feel desperate, but you'll still have a little bit of that flavor of adventure. Now, by this point, I imagine some of you are curious about the whole safety aspect of solo traveling. And I will be honest with you, safety is one of the main concerns that you have to have while solo traveling. Now, for me, I had the privilege of traveling as a man at the time that I did my solo traveling, which makes things quite a bit easier. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to hide behind the elephant in the room. Out in the big bad world, it is easier to solo travel as a guy. But that being said, it doesn't mean it's impossible if you are a lady. The amount of solo female travelers that I met traveling the world that were incredibly inspiring, that had amazing stories of all the adventures they'd done with with almost no bad experiences, was astounding, because I assumed that being a solo female traveler would be incredibly challenging. It would be incredibly dangerous. But in these regions that I recommended, Central America, Southeast Asia, Southern Europe, and Northern Africa, those regions are a lot more safe. But before I wrap things up, I have one more thing that I want to share with you about how to solo travel and be safe. While you're out there having fun, having a blast, doing everything you've ever dreamed of, you have to remember your limitations. You have to be smart. While you're enjoying yourself and while you're having fun, just remember that there is some margin of responsibility that you have to do. You have to be respectful to the people around you. You have to be respectful to the local culture, and you have to be respectful to yourself. And when I say be respectful to yourself, I mean take care of yourself. Be smart. Put your money in a safe spot. Put your passport in a safe spot. Don't leave things lying around. Don't act like you're invincible because you're in your early 20s and nobody's ever hurt you before, because the world might hurt you a little bit, but hopefully not. I mean, it's hurt some people, but if you just have fun and you're smart a little bit and you take care of yourself and you take care of the people around you and you have a little bit of fun, everything's gonna be okay. So if you're now inspired to solo travel, first thing you do, book your flight, choose your location, hit the subscribe button, and head off on your adventure. Enjoy.